Have you ever woken up, stretched your arms, and just for a moment thought to yourself, I don't feel like I used to? Maybe it was the way your knees felt when you got out of bed, or maybe it was the way your energy dipped halfway through the afternoon. It's easy to assume that getting older automatically means getting weaker, that your best days are behind you. But here's the truth. Aging doesn't mean fading. In fact, many men discover that this stage of life can be one of their strongest, sharpest, and most fulfilling chapters, if they know how to support their bodies and minds. Let us be honest, society doesn't do a great job of showing men over 60 what is possible. You see ads for anti-aging creams and supplements, or worse, you're told to slow down and accept inevitable decline. But what if decline isn't inevitable? What if your energy, strength, and clarity aren't gone, but just waiting to be reignited? This conversation isn't about turning back the clock. It's about learning how to work with your age instead of against it. Your body may not be the same as it was at 30, but that doesn't mean it can't be strong, agile, and full of life. In fact, with the right habits, you might even feel better now than you did then. That's what we're going to explore together. Simple, practical ways to stay strong and sharp as the years go by. Let's begin with something that's often overlooked: your mindset. One of the most powerful changes you can make as you get older doesn't involve lifting weights or taking supplements. It is how you think about aging. The moment you start believing that weakness is a given, your body starts responding accordingly. Think about it. If you've already decided you're past your prime, are you going to push yourself on that afternoon walk? Are you going to try something new or challenge yourself with even small goals? Probably not. The mind leads and the body follows. But here's the good news. Mindset is flexible. You can rewire the way you think about your age. Start by noticing the language you use. Are you constantly saying, I'm too old for this? Or, that's just how it is at my age? Try flipping the script. Say, I'm still capable, or I'm learning to take care of myself better now than ever before. It might sound simple, but these little phrases plant seeds in your brain that grow into action. And once your mindset begins to shift, the way you move through the world starts to shift too. You might find yourself walking a little taller, standing up from a chair with more ease, or even tackling tasks around the house with more confidence. The body may have aged, but the willpower hasn't disappeared. It just needs a reason to wake up again. Another key to staying strong as you age is staying connected. Not just to people, though friendships and family do play a huge role, but connected to your body, your routine, your purpose. As we age, it's easy to become passive. Days start to blend together, and routines can become automatic. You go from one day to the next without much thought about what your body truly needs, but staying in tune with how you feel, really paying attention, can make all the difference. Start asking yourself questions during the day. How am I breathing? When was the last time I moved my body in a meaningful way? What foods have I given myself today? Did they energize me or drain me? These aren't questions we're often taught to ask, especially as men. But they help build awareness, and awareness builds strength. Now let's talk about movement. Not intense workouts or gym memberships unless that's something you enjoy. I'm talking about consistent, intentional movement. Your body craves it, no matter your age. In fact, movement becomes even more important the older we get, because it keeps our joints lubricated, our muscles engaged, and our blood flowing. But more than anything, it reminds us that we are still capable of doing. And that's a powerful thing. You don't need to run a marathon. A daily walk with a bit of purpose, say a brisk 20 minutes around your neighborhood, can do wonders. Add a little light strength work a few times a week. That could be something as simple as standing up from a chair without using your hands 5 times in a row, or holding onto the kitchen counter and doing slow, controlled calf raises. These are small movements, yes, but they build big confidence, and confidence is part of strength too. As you start to feel stronger, you'll notice more than just physical benefits. Your energy improves. You feel more alert. You are less likely to experience those off days where everything feels heavier than it should. Your mood can shift too. There is something about moving your body and seeing yourself succeed that reminds you are still in control. You still have say in how this chapter of your life unfolds. And let's not forget how food plays into all of this. As we age, our nutritional needs shift. What worked at 30 might not serve you as well at 60 or 70. But that doesn't mean you need to follow a complicated diet. It means tuning into your body's signals. Do certain foods leave you bloated or tired? Are you getting enough protein to support your muscles? Are you eating enough fiber to support digestion and energy levels? Sometimes small tweaks, like starting your day with a protein-rich breakfast instead of sugary cereal, can make you feel significantly more energetic. Or drinking more water throughout the day to avoid that afternoon slump. These aren't massive changes, but they support the kind of vitality that lets you keep showing up for your life, strong and steady. And speaking of steady, let's talk balance. Literally. One of the biggest concerns as we age is the risk of falling. But falls aren't just about missteps, they're often about not practicing the skill of balance. Yes, balance is a skill, and it can be trained. Simply standing on one foot for 10-15 seconds while brushing your teeth can improve your stability. Adding in slow, mindful steps, heel to toe across the room, can rewire the muscles that help keep you upright and confident. That sense of balance translates beyond the physical. It shows up in your decisions, your pace, your daily rhythm. When you feel stable, you feel capable. And that quiet confidence, that's a sign of strength, not youth. So if you've ever had a day where you felt like you were slowing down, or you questioned whether your best years were behind you, let this be a reminder. Age is not the enemy. In fact, it might just be the gift you haven't fully unwrapped yet. Now let's talk about something that's often left out of the conversation. Rest. Not just sleep, though that's important, but real restorative rest. The kind that recharges your mind, calms your nervous system, and helps your body recover. You see, many men believe slowing down is a weakness, that they always need to be doing something. But the truth is, rest is a form of strength. It's what allows your body to rebuild after activity, to clear your mind, and to prepare you for tomorrow. But rest doesn't always mean lying down or taking a nap. It can be as simple as sitting on your porch in the morning with a cup of tea and letting your thoughts slow down. It can mean stepping away from screens and distractions to reconnect with silence. The body responds well to stillness, especially when it's intentional. And when your nervous system gets that kind of break, it supports everything from your digestion to your immune system. Another piece of the puzzle is curiosity. You might be wondering, what does curiosity have to do with health more than you think? As we get older, it's easy to fall into routines and repeat the same patterns every day. While structure can be helpful, it can also lead to mental stagnation. Your brain, just like your muscles, needs to be stretched and challenged. Learning something new, even something simple like a card game, a few words in a new language, or a different route on your daily walk, can fire up parts of your brain that may have been a little too quiet lately. Staying mentally engaged keeps you sharp, and that mental clarity spills into other areas of life. It helps you make better choices. It improves your mood. It even affects how well you sleep. When your brain feels alive, your body follows. And curiosity brings joy. When you're learning and exploring, no matter how small the topic, life feels fuller. That sense of discovery doesn't have to disappear with age. In fact, it can grow stronger if you let it. Speaking of joy, let's take a moment to talk about purpose. It's one of those words that gets thrown around a lot. But when you really sit with it, you start to see how important it is. Purpose doesn't have to be something grand. It doesn't mean building a business or climbing a mountain. It can be as simple as checking in on your neighbor, cooking a nice dinner for your spouse, or tending to your garden with care. Purpose gives your days shape. It gives you a reason to get up, a reason to take care of yourself. And when you feel needed or connected to something meaningful, you're more likely to treat your health with respect. You walk a little farther. You eat a little better. You stretch more. You stay curious because there's something to stay sharp for. If you've ever felt like your days were just blending together, or like you weren't sure what you were doing it all for, that might be your body's way of asking for more meaning. Take the time to reconnect with the things that light you up. That could be art, music, family, volunteering, or even learning something new. When your heart is engaged, your body benefits. Now let's bring up a subject that doesn't get talked about enough: connection. Not just staying in touch with others, but really feeling seen and heard. As men, especially older men, it can be easy to downplay the importance of emotional connection. but human beings are wired for community. We thrive when we feel understood, and that feeling doesn't disappear with age. In fact, it becomes even more important. You don't need a big group of friends or a packed social calendar, but a few strong, meaningful relationships, a phone call with a son or daughter, a walk with a neighbor, even a conversation with someone at the store, can boost your mood, reduce stress, and improve your overall health. Loneliness, on the other hand, is one of the most silent threats to well-being. It's been linked to higher blood pressure, weaker immune function, and even memory decline. So take a moment to reach out, not just to ask for help, but to give it. Offer your wisdom, share your story, listen to someone else's. Connection is a two-way street, and when you open up that channel, you feel more alive. You remember that you matter. And that kind of feeling? It feeds strength in a way no workout ever could. That brings us to something a bit more personal: confidence. At some point, most men start to question theirs. Maybe it's because the mirror looks different than it used to, or because there are fewer things you can do as quickly or easily. But confidence isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about knowing you still have value. You still bring something to the table, and maybe even more than ever before, because now you've got the experience to back it up. If you've lost a little confidence lately, try this. Reflect on the challenges you've overcome, the lessons you've learned, the ways you've grown even when life didn't go the way you planned. All of that is strength. All of that is proof that you are still capable, still powerful. And when you walk through your days with that kind of quiet assurance, people notice. More importantly, your body notices. Your posture improves. Your breathing deepens. Your steps become more grounded. And finally, let's not forget the role of gratitude. Yes, it may sound like a cliche, but the science backs it up. People who practice gratitude regularly sleep better, have fewer aches and pains, and even have stronger hearts. But this isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging what is still good, still working, still worth celebrating. Every day that you wake up is a chance to start again, to try a little harder, to treat your body with kindness, to speak more gently to yourself, to take a few steps in the right direction. You may be aging, but you are not fading. You are evolving. You are becoming the version of yourself that is seasoned, steady, and strong in ways that youth could never understand. Now that we've opened up the conversation around strength, true, lasting strength, it's important to talk about the choices you make every single day. These choices might seem small at first glance, like what you eat for lunch or whether you stretch in the morning, but over time they add up. They become the building blocks of your overall health. And the beautiful thing is, it's never too late to start stacking those blocks in your favor. One of the most powerful decisions you can make is to move your body. Not because you need to lose weight or impress anyone, but because movement keeps everything flowing. Your joints, your muscles, your blood, and your thoughts. Whether it's walking, gardening, stretching, or even dancing a little in your kitchen, movement tells your body we're still in this together. It reminds your muscles that they still have work to do, and your brain that you're not done learning how to live well. Consistency matters more than intensity. You don't have to run marathons. A daily walk with your dog or a few minutes of balance training in your living room can have a massive impact. These little routines send a signal to your nervous system. I care about this body. I want to stay strong. And strength responds to attention. The more you show up, the more it shows up for you. Nutrition, too, is a place where wisdom becomes power. With age, your body doesn't process food the same way it used to. Digestion slows down, nutrient absorption changes, and you may notice your energy fluctuating more than it did in your 40s or 50s. That doesn't mean you need a restrictive diet. It just means it's time to eat with intention. Think about what fuels you, not just what fills you up. Foods rich in color, texture, and nutrients do more than nourish your cells. They support your hormones, stabilize your blood sugar, and help your brain stay sharp. Whole foods like berries, leafy greens, nuts, fish, eggs, and even a bit of dark chocolate can make a world of difference in how you feel. And hydration, don't forget that one. Water might not seem exciting, but it's vital. Even mild dehydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, and a sluggish mind. And while we're on the subject of mental clarity, let's take a moment to acknowledge stress. It's easy to underestimate how much stress you carry around when it becomes your normal. But stress is sneaky. It doesn't just show up in your thoughts, it hides in your shoulders, in your stomach, in your sleep patterns. Chronic stress wears the body down like waves smoothing stone. You don't see the erosion right away, but over time it leaves a mark. So give yourself permission to unwind. That might mean turning off the news, spending more time outdoors, or talking to someone you trust. It might mean breathing slowly and deeply before bed, or letting yourself laugh at a good movie. Laughter really is medicine. It relaxes your muscles, reduces cortisol, and reminds you that life, even with all its changes, can still be joyful. As you continue aging, one thing becomes clear. The quality of your life is deeply connected to the way you speak to yourself. You can choose to look in the mirror and see loss, or you can choose to see a lifetime of stories, lessons, and victories. Every scar, every wrinkle, every gray hair has earned its place. They're not flaws, they're the map of where you've been. Self-talk matters more than most people realize. If you tell yourself you're too old, too slow, too broken, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you remind yourself that you're still growing, still adapting, still valuable, that belief shapes your actions, and your actions shape your health. You are not the same man you were at 30, and that's not a bad thing. The strength you have now might not be as fast or flashy, but it is deep. It is resilient. It is patient. That strength doesn't panic under pressure. It doesn't rush. It knows how to listen. It knows how to stay. So don't fall into the trap of comparing yourself to younger men. You have different goals now, and that's a gift. You're no longer proving your worth. You're living it. You're not trying to be someone else. You're becoming more fully yourself. That process doesn't stop just because a few decades have passed. If anything, it becomes richer. And maybe that is the most important truth of all. Aging isn't about decline. It is about refinement. It's about knowing what matters and focusing your energy there. It's about letting go of what doesn't serve you and embracing what lifts you up. It's about realizing that your best years aren't behind you, they're within you. You have the power to change how you feel, starting today. You can wake up tomorrow and treat your body with care. You can feed it well, move it gently, challenge it, rest it, and speak kindly to it. You can connect with people who see your worth. You can pursue things that bring you joy. And you can choose every day to believe that you still have so much to give. So if you've ever looked in the mirror and felt doubt, let this be your reminder. You are not getting weaker. You are becoming wiser. You are becoming more intentional, more balanced, more tuned in. The numbers on your birth certificate don't tell the whole story. You do. With every choice, every habit, every step forward. Your age is not your limit. Your mindset is. And when you change that, everything else starts to shift too. So here's to you. To strength that lasts. To health that grows. To energy that returns when it's nurtured. And to the truth that age is not something to fear. It's something to honor. You've earned every one of your years. Now use them to live boldly, wisely, and well, because you still can. And that's the truth.